Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from Man Guide. Let's jump right into it.
Buckle up!
How long would you make a guy wait before you give it up to him?
Depends on the guy. Depends on if I like him or if I'm physically attracted to him and the energy is there and I think it's mutual and I feel as though there's respect, it could be sooner than later. But if I feel as though this is somebody who is a long play, like you can kind of gauge that. Like initially you're like, okay, you're just short term, or no, you actually have qualities that I could see bringing us into the future, then that person I might have them wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, so translation, the dude who's attractive, she will have bedroom fun with immediately, but the man who's not attractive, if he has money, then she will keep him around in order to use him.
If you and him are on the same page and the vibe is there, and he's like, yo, let's go up to the room, you'd be down. But if he's giving you more a nice guy vibe, you're more eager to stretch it out.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So why go after the bad boys after this long?
I think that there's almost a certain level of security in knowing that it's not something that I have to invest myself in.
So the fact that he doesn't care gives you the freedom
to also not care. If it's just a physical thing, it's just a physical thing. It's compartmentalized.
This is why millions of men are walking away from the dating market. I mean, there are many reasons why dudes are doing this, but a lot of men have realized that this is not a winning game for them to play. They risk their assets, they risk their children, and they are risking it all for women like this. So absolutely not.
I know that if I were to leave my husband, there are men lined up who are more than willing to take care of me and my daughter. But
are they the men that you want?
Yes.
Time out, because listen, this is what women get confused. There's a lot of fucking simps who will do it because they don't have many options. Women feel like because there's always men lined up, they get the fucking delusion that they can have any guy. No, these are the guys that don't have an option, because when given the option, you're gonna pick the better option. A woman with a kid is never the better option between a woman without one. I don't care what a man told you. It's about what he showed you. You can sit here and say, he told me this. This guy told me he wanted to pay my bills. He told me he wanted me to have his kid. We're going to tell you anything to get what we want. So stop believing what he told you and start believing what he showed you. If he did not move you in and he's not paying your bills, who you dated doesn't matter. We will date you. Yes, we will fuck around.
It's true.
Whatever the group does, they do. Whatever the dominant culture is, they follow. So anytime you have a permissive culture, the women, of course, are going to be more likely to be promiscuous or open. In fact, when you leave women to their own devices, they generally degrade into like very filthy behaviors. If you give them an option or you do not stop them, they're gonna go off the deep end.
It's a great warning, but for the most part, the lesson was learned too late. With most women left to their own devices by choice for more than 100 years, arguably 250 years, it's hard to see a reality where women break away from the current fantasy, especially because certain groups have cheered them on every step of the way. And that's what it is, a fantasy, the faculty or activity of imagining things, especially things that are impossible or improbable. Whether it be running from the past or ignoring present behaviors, the reality is not something the Western woman desires. This is because the second any of them peek around the corner, where the evidence lies, it effectively dismantles the image of themselves, the one that's been cultivated in their shrinking minds for decades.
I mean, guys, you look at all of these liberal societies these days where everybody is running amok. You can do whatever you want. It's very empowering to go hook up with a lot of dudes. Look what's happened to the marriage rates, and look what's happened to the birth rates. Okay, dudes are completely opting out. They're saying no more marriage. I can't have kids with these women. I can't live with them. I can't have relationships. Things are too messed up right now. And this is why millions of dudes are choosing to opt out of this particular situation, because they have nothing to benefit from it in the first place.
Popping your balloon?
I'm a free-spirited woman, so having to
Translation, she likes hooking up with a bunch of different dudes.
check in with somebody like they are my parent is something that I don't subscribe to, so that's why I pop my balloon.
What do you mean check in like they're your parent?
The way that you were discussing how somebody needs to constantly, when we're out and about, to text or call and check in, that's something that I don't subscribe to, so that's why I pop my balloon.
Yeah, the reason why women do this, by the way, is just because they want to be able to go out there and do whatever it is that they want to do. I see this attitude a lot, like, oh, I just don't want this particular responsibility of the relationship. But what they're really trying to say is she needs to go out there and hook up with a whole bunch of different random dudes until she's like 30. Then she'll find some simp to scam, and then she'll resume doing it anyway.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm a TikTok creator manager.
TikTok creator manager? For what company? Or is it for yourself?
What the hell?
It's for TikTok.
For TikTok?
Social media.
Okay, social media?
Social media agent, yes.
Okay, how many kids you have?
I have 2.
How many baby daddies?
2.
2?
She's got 2 kids to 2 different dudes, and she's out here not wanting to check in with men because that's too much responsibility. That is hilarious. Those poor kids, man.
Yo, what is going on? Yo, Arla is genius. All you gotta do is line up a bunch of shorties with baggage and get a guy like him that's a detective. That's all you need. Oh my gosh, she's a genius.
So you didn't think after the first one that you wanted to marry the next one?
No.
No? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I was just asking because for real men, that's what matters. Your first one is given. Your second one, the mistake is on you.
Oh, is it? Well, there's
That's definitely
circumstances
right.
under why I got
That's
pregnant,
definitely
but
right.
that's nor here or there, and that's
Yeah,
not
but
what I'm here for.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, this is what modern women do, man. They like to pretend like their circumstance is somehow different. Oh, my circumstance is unique. Actually, in my situation, the reason why I have multiple fathers to different kids is because blah, 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 blah. Who gives a damn? The fact of the matter is, you screwed up. None of these people want to take any accountability whatsoever. Also, I love the women in the background, by the way, popping, what on earth? Popping their balloons. I don't think this is anything to be sad about, guys. If you get rejected by women like this, nothing to be sad about there. That is a victory in my eyes.
Why I got
That's
pregnant,
definitely
but
right.
that's nor here or there, and that's
Yeah,
not
but
what I'm here for.
Okay, definitely. You're a beautiful woman, though.
Thank you.
But I respect your answer.
Can I get the next guy out?
Hey, no, for hell no, for you just popped your shit because she did. First of all y'all show me 10 racks right now. What are you talking about? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I am 41 years old, single, without kids, living in a van outside my mom's house. But I'm on the next chapter of my life. I'm currently building a tiny home next door, like literally next door to my mom. This is my tiny home I'm building, and it's literally next door to my mom's house. This is my mom.
Look how disappointed the mother is, by the way. This woman, 41 years of age, no kids, no family, no husband, no nothing, which is fine, guys. You know, I don't think that if you're a girl and you don't want to get married, you don't want to go out here and find your husband, I couldn't care less, okay? Knock yourselves out. Modern women are liberated. They are free to make their own decisions, but they are also liberated from men, okay? So this woman, unmarried, no kids, and her poor mother has to put up with the fact that she's essentially moved into her backyard. Good luck with that.
Mom, you happy that I'm moving next door?
Wow, she looks so proud. Guys, this is what I mean by fantasy. When it comes to modern women, there are plenty of options, but all of them are terrible. There's the single mom who thinks she's worth it because she supposedly set up the castle for the future prince. There's the chick twerking on TikTok or OnlyFans describing herself as a self-made entrepreneur. There's the 40-plus-year-old woman moving right next to her mom, building a shack that she calls a tiny home. The list could wrap around the world several times, and it just keeps getting longer. Now, if you ask any of these ladies what they have that's of value, they'll list off their life position and goals in the most euphemistic way possible, identifying as a princess that just needs a little TLC. And suddenly, she'll transform into the person every man wants to live with and provide for. The problem, men actually know what work is, so they're able to identify what constitutes labor and what looks like pure delusion disguised as a profitable influencer lifestyle.
Yeah, none of these women are worth investing into, man. You have so many women who jump on the internet and who say, you know, my man needs to do this, he needs to do that. But to be honest with you, I don't see any point in investing in these women in the first place, guys. They bring nothing to a man's life. They're a complete and utter liability. And then they sit there and they cry and complain when men won't actually invest into them. It's absolutely insane. Let's continue.
And it's no Fugazi Corporation building. We got all the men, from low quality to the highest quality men. The only way you know it's on the other floor is if you choose to go up. If you choose not to accept floor 1, then you got to go up to the next floor. First floor is he has a job and he has a car. Are you staying at that floor or moving up? Up. Moving up a floor? Level 2? What about you?
Moving up.
Moving up? What about you?
Going up.
Going up. Level 2, he got a job, he got a car, he's charismatic, he's funny, he got a personality, and he's a good man.
I'm going up.
What about you?
I'm going up.
She going up. Now we got level 3.
I'm invested now.
He got a job, he got a car, he funny, he charismatic, he a good man. He also 6'4".
I'm going up.
You going up?
I'm going up too.
Going up.
4th floor is he got a job, he got a car, he charismatic, he's 6'4", but not only that, he got a 9-incher.
I'm going up.
Oh, what? Y'all going up again? We at the 5th floor now. He got a job, he got a car, he got a good personality, 6'4", the 9-incher. He's a good man. He makes $500,000 a year.
I'm going up.
You going up?
I'm gonna go up, I guess.
Okay, on the 6th floor, this man doesn't exist. This is just to show you that you are hypergamous and you're never satisfied. 6th floor doesn't exist. It's to show you that you're hypergamous and you're never satisfied, and the nature of a woman is the damnation of the woman.
I can get behind that, guys. What happens here is you have women who, they go out here dating, looking for their Prince Charming, but they find that nothing is ever good enough, especially the women who hook up with a whole bunch of random dudes. They're always going to be thinking about their ex-boyfriends and things like this, and, you know, what kind of option they can get that's going to be better than her previous man. Have you guys ever noticed, right? Some simple mathematics here that I bring up on the channel quite often, okay? But if a woman has been with a whole bunch of different dudes, she's never going to properly settle down. Women who are single and who have been with a bunch of men are almost perpetually single. They might get into a little relationship here or there, but by and large, they are always craving to return to the streets. Let's keep going.
Y'all, how angry do you think my husband's gonna be when he finds out that I need him to change the way he did this? So I just noticed that, you see the way these are spaced apart right here? Well, these are closer. I don't know why he bought this one that has the closer, I don't know, railing pieces, but I wanted it all to look like this. I don't know, he's done 5 so far. There's the rest of them down there. He can take those back, I guess, but I don't know how hard it is gonna be. Just take the screws out of there and replace it. But it's not that I'm ungrateful that he's doing this. It's just that, like, here you can see. I don't know why. The one I saw had all the same size like this. I'm not happy with the way it looks like this. Would y'all be mad if I was your wife and I asked you to redo this? It just bothers me. Yeah, he's gonna have to redo this.
Yeah, no. You're going to have to get the hell out. Okay, she said, well, would you be mad if I was your wife? No, I wouldn't be mad. You just wouldn't be my wife in the first place. Women like this are a complete and utter headache. Nothing you do will ever be good enough. This is what I'm talking about on the channel, guys. You can give a woman absolutely everything she wants. You can go out there, you can build her a deck, you can buy her a house, you can get her a pool, you can give her a family, you can look after and provide and care for her. But there's always going to be some issue that she's going to take up and start ranting to you about. And, you know, oftentimes these women, they do this crap, they do this sort of behavior because they know that the man can't leave without being screwed over. You think that these women would give this kind of disrespect if the man wasn't trapped in the situation, by the way? This is why we need to address divorce laws and things like this, because these behaviors are completely antithetical to actually having a family. Right? There is no point having a family with a woman like this because you can't live with them. They are absolutely horrendous. But let's keep going with the video.
From men is that after the marriage, after the kids, the women change.
Again, I never did buy she was an angel. And then one day she was a demon spawn. I don't buy that. It's there. They didn't test her. I tell men all the time, you have to test women. See if she's even this vindictive. Just the tiniest amount of vindictiveness early on tells you that vindictiveness will be multiplied by 1,000,000 down the road. Once the infatuation's over, ask her or tell her no to something.
That is absolutely true. Guys, I wasn't going to pause this clip so soon, but this vindictiveness thing is actually a very, very good point, guys. Vindictive women, I think this man is totally on point. Okay, once the honeymoon phase is over, as it were, vindictive women are 100 times worse, 1,000,000 times worse than what they were at the beginning of the relationship. This is why dudes shouldn't just go out here and give commitment straight up to women. Absolutely not, especially Western women, guys. Vindictive women are completely awful, and their behavior worsens over time. And you might think that you're a good man because you put up with it and you love her, but trust me, guys, it will only get worse and worse for you.
Down the road, once the infatuation's over, ask her or tell her no to something. If she wants to go see a movie, just say, no, I'm not into it tonight. And then you watch very carefully what she does. Does she get huffy about it? Can she handle a no? Can she handle a no to not spending money?
You know what's crazy about this clip, by the way, is it's such an easy thing, okay? But so many women have not been told no in their entire lives, okay? This is not some really difficult test that men are doing. It's just that women oftentimes have never really properly been told no in their entire lives. So if you do it, even if you're in a relationship with them, they lose their marbles over it oftentimes. Okay, this is not some huge deal. This is not like dudes are testing, trying to find some really unique this should be like baseline, man. It's absolutely disgusting how we're in a position in society right now, guys, where you can't tell a woman no oftentimes without her losing her marbles.
Does she want something? I want a 3-carat diamond, whatever. No, that's not going to happen. What does she behave like then? She'll tell you who she is. She'll show you. Is that the setup she wants? Because if that's what she wants and that's what you're providing, there's two problems. There's her and there's you. But I just don't buy these guys that say, oh, she perfect, just everything. And then we got married and all of a sudden she was a different person.
This is perhaps one of the most important ways to combat the feminist fantasy. It's the most criticized by the hive mind, as well as one of the most addressed concepts on Man Guide. And there's a reason for this. Look, it's always fun to find clips where the guys get together to roast the modern woman. It's funny. The effects are relatable, and we all get to chuckle when the sandcastle collapses because we're hundreds of miles away. But the clips like this, where women rush to the comments section with Tyson's gloves on, are the ones that need to be closely examined, because they are the conversations that they are most afraid of. And here's why. The greatest weapon against feminist fantasy, or at least one of them, is to challenge the perspective. As the guy said, one of the major mistakes men made in the past was leaving the testing to the women. They have absolutely no idea how to create standards.
Yeah, and not only do they not create standards a lot of the time, dudes lack boundaries, they lack self-respect these days, they just put up with anything, but also, men are not encouraged at all to have standards. Anytime you as a man in current day society, you want to have standards. So for example, let's just say you're a guy and you want a wife, for example, that is not going to go out on girls' nights. You are oftentimes going to be roasted for having that preference or that boundary, as it were. Any sort of thing that a man wants to enforce on the relationship, these things shouldn't even be enforced anyway. They should just be a given. But we're in a point in society right now, guys, where you can't even say that you want something sensible out of a woman, or you get crucified for it. It's ridiculous.
Ultimately, I'm the decision maker. If there's certain things that I don't want her input on.
Because you don't care about how she feels or her opinion then?
Because ultimately, regardless of how she feels or her opinion, I'm going to do it anyway.
I mean, I think that's a lack of respect because you're not respecting her feelings or what she would maybe want, even though it's ultimately your decision.
Well, then it sounds to me like you don't really want submission. You want equality. Then that's fine. It's equality where he pays for everything, and then occasionally you'll let him have the final say. Isn't that kind of...
Not occasionally, no. I'm still saying he can have the final say as long as it's a conversation.
All right, let's find out. So you're with your husband, and you're like, I want the kids to go over here because it's 15 minutes closer.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's going to make my day possible. Otherwise, I'm going to have to rearrange everything. It's going to be a big... And he says, yeah, I want him to go to this other school, though.
Why?
Yeah, and he says, because I do.
Sorry, but...
yeah, so that doesn't sound like submission to me. That sounds like I have to convince you that I'm right and have you okay it. That's what that sounds like to me.
And this...
Yeah, I'm going to go back here because this is actually a very important clip, okay? Is that modern women will oftentimes say that they want equality. You know, you have to respect my feelings, you have to do this, you have to do that. So the man has to provide for the woman, but he gets no say in the ability to lead the relationship. Guys, if you make a decision, right? If you say something, and then your woman just has all sorts of arguments and she disagrees with it and she's constantly testing you and pushing back on things, just find a new woman, man. Or better yet, don't have one because you're probably better off being by yourself. Girls will go on and on about this, but they never actually want a man, like, they want a dude to just do everything and read their minds and do everything that they think is right all of the time. Okay, they want the dude who's rich and who's successful to do anything that she says. There's no trade-off for the man. Men can't even. You could fully provide for a Western woman, fully take care of her, and she is still going to make your life into a battle for no reason. So no, right? This is why dudes walk away from dating. They walk away from marriage, particularly the successful ones as well, guys. Successful men have realized, hey, no matter how much I invest into this nonsense, she's still going to be a headache to me and disagree with everything I say. So, you know, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. You want a man to provide everything, but you don't want him to actually lead the relationship. You're not feminine whatsoever. There's always pushback. There's always assertiveness. There's always my way or the highway. And then these women get shocked and surprised when men throw them out and they say that they're not interested. It's craziness to me, guys. Absolute craziness. But let's continue here.
To me, that sounds like I have to convince you that I'm right and have you okay it. That's what that sounds like to me.
And this is the canary in the coal mine. The reason men need to gas the cave before they even think about entering. See, even if a man gives the litmus test on a date, which nobody should be encouraging at this point, most women are pre-programmed to think that as a challenge presented by anyone other than a man is somehow an attractive characteristic. They believe that if a guy asks about their history, the right answer would be an illusion or a proud declaration of their independent past. They think that if a man says that something is going to be done in a particular way, it's, for one reason or another, an opportunity for them to toss a recommendation in the works, when all real men just see that for what it is, a monkey wrench in the machine. This and many other things make up this feminist fantasy, and the only way to combat this is to be consistently masculine. To be so direct with an uncompromisable viewpoint that the woman in question is either going to be disgusted, and therein lies the answer, or they will openly and willingly submit to every thought and command, which in...
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm not interested in trying to become more masculine or to try and convince women to follow me or listen to what I say or anything like this. You know, I think trying to convince women of crap is just a waste of time, man. Any woman who you have to make feminine is not worth being around anyway. This is like dudes going out here and dudes being incredibly feminine and then being like, yeah, when the right woman comes along, then I'll be masculine. People would make fun of that dude until the end of days, okay? But women will walk around here masculine as hell, and I have to, what, somehow tame them and convince them? Like, no, man, I don't want to have to, you know, up my masculinity to the max in order to make a woman feminine. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, hell no. Hell no. What is this? Why are Japanese men not attracted to me? Let's take a listen.
Nampan. No one nampans me. Nampa means to get hit on. I think it's because I'm intimidating to Japanese men. I don't
yes.
have that like kawaii, innocent vibe. I am also I'm taller than them. I'm thicker than them. I definitely get scared. They look at my oppai, but besides that, no, they don't nampa me.
Sounds about right.
What then?
Can you help? Can you get the broom and sweep? Because I'm washing dishes and my mom's drying them and putting them away. Oh, no, Leti, ¿cómo crees? ¿Me puede ayudar? ¿Cómo? No, mami, ahí nomás, él puede barrer aquí, mira, no es mucho. No, eso es para mujeres.
Are you sure I'm out? I'll sweep.
No.
I don't mind.
No. Relax, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to sweep.
Get the broom and help us out so we can be done sooner.
You know what's interesting about this situation, by the way? So this woman right here is trying to get this man to participate in the housework, okay? You might think to yourself, well, Taylor, what's wrong with that? You know, like, what's the issue with the woman trying to get the man to participate in the housework? Isn't it his house too? Now, assuming this dude pays the bills and he does all of the things that the man typically does, you know, he fixes things. If the car breaks down, he fixes it. If the rent needs paying, he pays it. He does his jobs, but women will have their jobs and then try and delegate their jobs to you as well. You see what I'm saying, guys? Like, it's like you have to do all of your duties plus half of the woman's duties. Now, I'm not saying that women, for example, have to be in the kitchen or they have to be cooking, okay? But if this is the way that this has been set up, the dude's doing the typically male roles, the female's doing the typically female roles, then you don't get to have this cake and eat it too kind of thing. So the man has to pay all my bills, the man has to look after the house and the cars and whatnot, but then he also has to help me with my job, which is the housework. It's like, guys, he's better off just hiring a maid, no? This is the thing that gets me, right? It's like these successful dudes, they get into relationships and things like this, and then the girls try and convince the dudes to do the girls' part. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to sweep.
Get the broom and help us out so we can be done sooner. Leti, ¿qué?
She wants me to sweep, Mama, so it could be done sooner.
Aquí no. Tú vas a ver televisión con tu suegro.
Órale. Órale. Whatever you say, Mama.
I love how she does this, by the way, right? So this older woman, she's like, no, this is the role for the women. And she probably has the same attitude towards the role for the men too. You know? Men go out there, they put the roof over the heads. Women look after the roof that has been put over the heads. Does that make sense? So, like, you have this woman and she understands. She's like, okay, this job for the women, this job for the men. Now, I'm not saying that things have to be set up this way, but it's very hypocritical to me, guys, when women get absolutely provided for, and then they're asked to do housework, and then they want the dude to also do the housework. Again, the dude is better off just hiring a maid.
So we can be done sooner. Leti, ¿qué?
She wants me to sweep, Mama, so it could be done sooner.
Aquí no. Tú vas a ver televisión con tu suegro.
Órale. Órale. Whatever you say, Mama.
It only took...
And look at this, right? A lot of people might be like, oh, well, this guy's lazy. He's just lying down. What's the bet this guy's been at work all day, or it's like the weekend or something like this, and he's been working the entire week? People don't ever like to consider these things. A man relaxing, oh, how dare he, right? A man not doing something productive at all given times, oh, how dare he? It's totally ridiculous. Men have to be going out there, fighting wars, and making money at every point in time. Now let's take a look at this last clip.
Told me I'm pretty. Excuse me. You haven't even told me I'm pretty.
You have no idea who you are. Who are you? No, they're sitting over there. We're sitting over here. Enjoy your food.
But I'm pretty though, right?
Enjoy your food.
Yeah, pretty damn annoying.
If you're ever feeling really bad about yourself, just remember that one time I went on a date with a guy that I worked at a gym with, and he wanted to go to a concert, and he didn't buy the tickets yet for some reason, and he asked me if I could buy them, so I bought my ticket and his ticket, and then he asked me if I wanted to come to his apartment before the concert to do a little pregame, and I agreed, so then I drove to his apartment, and then after the pregame, he asked me if I could get an Uber to the concert, so then I bought and got us an Uber to the concert, and then once we got to the concert, he was like, do you want a drink? I want a drink. And I was like, yes, I'd love a drink. And he was like, well, are you going to give me money for your drink? Because I'm not going to feed you drinks all night. Then after the concert, he was like, well, do you want to get an Uber home? So then I paid for an Uber home. to his apartment. And then instead of getting in my car and going home like I should have, I stayed at his apartment.
Yeah, see, and this is what women actually do when they're attracted to the man, by the way. All of this, oh, men need to pay for everything and men have to do this, it flies completely out the window. Completely gone, guys. The women will do absolutely everything if they're attracted enough to you, excuse me. But meanwhile, they try and convince the simps, they try and convince the average man that he has to do everything and he has to convince her. It is ridiculous. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.